Good night.
We start off every episode with you just like crawled into a vault and tired and
Cause that's how it be. That's how it be, you know. I'm always tired.
well, honestly, I have an excuse to be like tired today. I went out last night.
Oh, you went out last night?
I
I
did.
didn't go out last night. Looks like we traded places.
We did. Because I went out last night, and that's why like my voice kind of sounds a little horsey. And also we apologize for the lighting. We use natural lighting, and it's very cloudy today in
Dark out
Colorado.
today.
So yeah.
Which I mean, I don't know. We could turn on the thing, but
Should we turn on the thing? I don't know. Let's turn it on.
yeah.
Let's
see if it makes
see
a
if it makes a
difference.
difference. We turned the light on. I don't think it made any difference. Well, anyways. Sorry, I'm gonna be clearing my throat a lot throughout this
Just make sure you like
episode.
put your mic away from your mouth.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry we also missed last week's upload. Our mother was undergoing a procedure. We just had to like make sure she was okay and
yeah, children duties.
yeah, so we had to give her time to recover, and I didn't want to like put filming like right,
Yeah, it was
as
like
she was
right
recovering.
the day after, almost the day after,
Basically,
pretty much. So
yeah. So we missed last week, and sorry about it.
yeah, we should be on the same consistent schedule again for the next foreseeable future. It doesn't seem like we have anything that's going to be preventing us. But yeah, welcome to episode 13.
I'm Arianna.
And I'm Marcus.
And this is Rated R for Relatives.
My
energy is so like I'm waiting for the salami.
It's just because for me personally, it's days like this. I am a person, as dumb as it is. I think most people are like this, to be honest with you. Who just like the weather, I can't with it. It's either that or like weather like this will do one of two things to me. It will one make me just like want to stay inside and do like inside productive things.
Yeah.
Or it will just make me like if I'm doing stuff outside, I'm like dragging ass, to be honest.
Yeah, when the weather's like this, when it's really cloudy and gross, I want to stay home.
Honestly, I miss being in school a little bit. And I'm not one of those people to say like, oh, I miss high school or like whatever.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, high school was fun. It was great. It was a great time of life. And I'm very grateful to be able to be one of those people that is like, I had a full high school experience. I went to a few parties. I had some great laughs. I went through a couple groups of friends. I had a couple of girlfriends, like, mainly one girlfriend, especially towards the end of my high school career. Like, graduated with her. Like I had a great high school experience. Like,
and then there's me, who's class of 2021. That's like I lost something once because class of 2021 didn't get shit their senior year and their last half of junior year. It's a little. I like how everybody who's class of 2020 and 2021 like have this sort of trauma bond all around the world
big time.
Of like, we didn't get these things, so screw you to everybody else who gets them. Because I'm not saying COVID was like something that was like to be dismissive of or anything.
Right, of course not.
However, I understand like we went through a global pandemic. A lot of people had passed because of COVID, and it is very disheartening and very sad.
At least it's what they tell us.
But at least I think it is fair for class of 20 and 2021 to mourn the last bit of childhood that we lost. Because for class of 2021, like there's also this comparison between 20 and 2021 of like who got it worse. Honestly, listen, my opinion
across the board
is that it is bad across the board, but I think class of 2021 got it worse because we barely got a senior sunrise, a senior breakfast. We barely got last homecoming.
Because of pandemic, almost your entire senior year was screwed versus 2020 class, it was just their graduation that got screwed pretty much.
And their prom, yeah.
Oh yeah, and their prom. Sorry, not to mean dismissive of that, but and their prom.
And like I'm not saying.
But you had 2 proms practically screwed, actually.
Yeah, we had 2 proms screwed, and then
they at least got their junior prom.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? So I don't know, like.
Yeah, it's who you ask, right?
It really is who you ask. I think we all like experienced a lot of loss. My one regret is not taking social media seriously during the pandemic because I could have been famous by now.
Yeah, honestly, because like that
we could have been famous.
Yeah, no, like that was like that is a good regret of like mine a little bit more like stuff. Honestly, more just started laying into my shtick now, but yeah, no, we definitely should have been on because I mean that's when everyone was
Everyone
like,
was
you know,
getting like,
everyone was gaining their platform in
yeah,
some way or
e-
another, whether it was
exactly.
making the platforms of
Hmm.
something or like kind of paving certain like directions. Like podcasting was beginning its new thing again. Like
Hmm.
no one really listened to podcasts before
Until
2020.
yeah. But anywhoosies,
That's our
that
intro.
is our intro. Yes. If for those of you who don't know what Rated R for Relatives is about, this is the podcast where Marcus and I essentially talk about a lot of media, mainly movies,
Of
film,
course.
TV. Film and movies are the same thing. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Mainly film and TV.
Yes.
Of course, and we delve into obviously a lot of social topics within the pop culture arena, such as award shows, castings, things that are happening, projects that are coming out,
Yes.
things like that, and we delve a little bit into our personal lives and
Yeah.
kind of just try to be more relatable in that sense because we also want to use our platform to be more
Connected.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the word. Connected with people and want to make like we are not just people talking about movies. Like we're
Yeah.
not critics either. Like we're just like you and everyone else, but we want to share our views and we want to hope that some people agree.
Yeah. I mean, I like to say we're not critics, but we are the audience.
Yeah,
So
exactly. We are the
yeah,
audience.
and it's I'm not saying what our opinion defines the end all be all,
Right.
but with that being said, thank you for tuning in and let's dive into our first segment, which is relate to this rant.
Diving into our first segment of, like we just said,
Relate to this rant,
really
which is the segment where Marcus and I take turns.
sorry, heartburn.
Oh my god. It's the segment where Marcus and I essentially take turns about sharing about our week, about
Right.
what's been going on, and rant about something that maybe you could relate to. And if you do, feel free to sound off in the comments below.
Right.
In true sibling fashion, we do take turns every week to go
Right.
first. So
And also, like some of our viewers have been doing, i.e., one of my good friends, Dakota, at least on our TikTok, has been responding to some of those certain parts of our rants where we do have questions about things that we have no idea about. So definitely
feel free to weigh in on the opinions. But with that
um,
being said, Marcus goes first this week.
yeah. Which I mean, as far as like rants go this week, I don't know. I'm pretty neutral.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, as far as this past like I guess 2 weeks has been.
Hmm.
The week prior was the week of my birthday.
It was. By the
And
way, if you didn't wish Marcus happy birthday in our last podcast episode, you're on my list.
but and it's good being this this new age, entering this new era. It's funny. I was kind of I've thought about this, and it's a little self-absorbed to say, which I think is a little funny. But in my opinion, like my new year doesn't start until I've turned the next age.
If I'm being real, me too.
Like that's just like how my brain works. So it's like
Yeah.
okay, like then my next chapter of this year or whatever isn't until I turn the next age. Like, do you get what I'm
No,
saying?
I
Like,
absolutely do get what you're saying because that was so stupid. Um,
as our brother would say, cringe, so
yeah, our
cringe.
younger brother Roman has been thinking everything is
Oh my
cringe.
god, he's getting into that.
And I
Which
think it's so funny because it's canon, right? Like he
oh
really
yeah,
he's
it's
turning into a
no
preteen,
yeah,
like
it's a canon event.
of
It's
thinking everything's embarrassing, thinking everything's cringe. He'll grow out of it once he turns 18. It'll be fine. But
it's funny because like he'll like his approval will come when I put a song on in the car. He's like, I actually like that. And
and
I'm
you're
like,
like,
thanks, dude.
yeah,
Like,
I didn't
cool.
care
And then
if you
I'll
liked it
I'll
or
walk
not.
in. I'll walk in. He's like, I'm listening to that song you put on in the car.
Oh, but
I
that
was
is
like,
so
I'm like,
cute.
thanks. Like, cool. Like, I don't know. It's funny. It's good because this is the age I have been waiting for though. Like
No, me
this, like you
too.
know what I mean. Like
Me
this is
too.
the if I'm gonna be honest, this is the age I've been waiting for him to get to, where I can like just shoot the crap with him. Like
Well, yeah, I
like
mean, not just that. I think it's like, me growing up being your older sister, we
right,
were very close in age, right? We were about two and a
right.
half years apart. So we really did grow up
Oh
together.
yeah, big time. Yeah.
And it's not like, versus age differences of like more than like 4 or 5 years, like they are practically watching their younger sibling grow up before their
Right.
eyes. And Roman, I have an 11-year age gap between him.
And I have an 8 year.
And we have an 8-year gap between them. So watching him really form into the person that he is going to be, and we have the power to influence that as well, to for him to be a good person. And of course, mom does a great job, but it's more of like he admires his older siblings, right?
Right,
Especially you, his older brother. And it's a beautiful thing to watch, and it's also very comical a lot,
right,
because like he is in that phase where he thinks everything is so embarrassing and so cringe.
right. And being, again, his older brother, like mentoring him through like this new stage of life, helping him get through like what it
Hmm.
means to be a man within this day and age,
Right.
making sure that he knows how to move about the world correctly or like whatnot. And obviously, what stuff that is actually cool, and
Yeah, exactly.
and that it
Or
is
like,
okay to think some things are cool,
yeah, even though other
obviously.
people around you don't think they
Yeah,
are,
like,
right?
like he's gonna be able to find himself that way. And that's
Mhm.
really something that I'm noticing lately. So that's become really nice. And just turning this age, is, I don't know,
You're
especially,
20.
yeah. Well, I mean,
For those that don't know, Marcus is 20 years old
Marcus is
now.
20 years old.
You're 2 decades old, dude.
But I mean, this has become a lately has been a lot of reflection. I mean, when am I not reflecting? But
Right, I was gonna say you're
uh,
reflecting every
like
day.
pool of reflection should just be in my room at this point. But
Yeah.
um, you know, uh, a lot has come up lately in my mind of the person that I have become, especially over these past couple of years. Because I
Mhm.
mean, in your first start to adulthood, there's a lot that kind of get thrown at you. There's a lot of things I would like to say sorry for, honestly,
Right.
because like I realized that the products of my environment of what I had became from that
Mhm.
should not have been.
Right,
Like
right,
there are certain tendencies or certain mindset that I have like adopted that just shouldn't be there. Like and
right.
and like parts of it, like I know that's not me.
Yeah.
Like
But it definitely is a product of what you grew up around and
right.
what you may have been not intentionally taught, but
Right,
it
because I feel
influenced
like
you.
these reactions are
Mhm.
warranted, and
Yeah.
that like this is what I have to do in like a certain sense, whether that be a microaggression of the actual thing or
Right.
the actual thing of what I had seen,
Right.
you know. So lately, especially, I don't know, I have just been definitely thinking of like I don't know, I kind of need to like it's kind of like doing a sober tour without the soberness because well, I'm California sober, but you know,
California sober.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
you act like you're an
No,
addict.
but that's well, that's why, because I don't like to say like I'm sober, but like I'm California
But
sober.
like sober between like I know California. For those who don't know what California
Right.
sober
California just
is,
means that that you just drink alcohol and that you smoke weed, and that's really what that means.
so were you like taking benzos and we just
No,
didn't
I
know?
just mean like clarifying for audience, so for audience purposes of like I'm
But
a
like
sober
you're
person.
saying you're sober and then you're saying I'm actually California
No, no,
sober.
sorry. I was saying
I'm
like
so confused.
doing like a tour of apologies. It's like a sober tour
Oh, oh.
without the sober part is what I was trying to say.
I was gonna say you needed to clear that up because there's gonna be people being like, whoa, 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 whoa,
No,
what?
but yeah, like I feel like there's some apologies that I need to be made, even to people that I felt like might not have even deserved it. Because to be honest
Mhm.
with you, I'm like through a couple experiences, I'm like learning other perspectives,
Yeah.
and especially what could have been perspectives from other people that were on the other side of what hurt me.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
so like I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, like they might have actually like had a good reason, or like they might have
Mhm.
actually been trying to do this like I'm doing right now, like you know
Yeah.
what I mean, like there's a lot of that to come into consideration more recently. um and yeah, and as far as my job now, because week before I was, well, these past few weeks besides this last week,
Mhm.
I was not doing the best. My
Mhm.
performance was pretty low.
Mhm.
um like I just wasn't giving numbers like I usually am, and a lot of that has to do with kind of what I have been saying of like, just thinking a lot about things and kind of getting in my head, because especially in my profession in sales, like if you get in your head too much, you're gonna flop. You
Right.
are.
Right.
and it's not about like studying too much or like that kind of a thing. It's more of literally like if you are thinking constantly about what you have to do, you're not going to do it right. There's actually this effect has been studied by scientists of
Yeah.
when you are under pressure in something and
Mhm.
you are like in your head of I'm going to try my hardest now
Mhm.
because I'm under so much pressure, you end up doing worse
Right.
because you're like trying too hard. That's literally a thing, is
Yeah.
trying too hard
Yeah.
versus they found the opposite study in another group of people who were able to kind of take a breath
Mhm.
and kind of take that deep breath and relax and rely on their base instincts of what they already know how to do.
Yeah.
They performed much greater.
Right. And I see that because it kind of like goes into when we go into auditions. And especially like this pressure, cuz now auditions are all self-tape.
Right.
It is very, very rare that you go into a room and do a in-person audition.
Right, these days that's like the third callback.
And basically, yes, because even the first callback is over a Zoom call,
No,
which
yeah.
I have to be real. That is one of my, and I can't even say that because then I'm manifesting me not getting callbacks. But my nightmare idea is like I get a callback and it's over Zoom and it's like there's glitches, there's like technical difficulties in any way, and it's like that will affect it whether I get this part or not, or could. So, but with that being said, I do understand like what you're saying about the whole like getting in your head because I truly feel like the reason why we didn't go as far is because we were trying too hard, because
Right.
we had something to prove, because we knew in the back of our heads that there was people here back home that were literally preying on our downfall. And it sucks because this is why like you can identify that that negative energy is there, but feeding into it or paying too much attention to it can really affect you
100%. And
because it affected us, I believe, for sure.
I'm the hugest believer in you, like you are what you're putting out almost.
Yes,
Like and
the
you like
tongue really does hold a lot of power.
but as far as like yeah, lately I was struggling a lot with that and I was able to kind of lock in and reposition myself or at the very least start to. And I have been doing better. I got at least two sales about like every day this
That's
last
good.
week. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely picking back up again. And I mean, and that's what it's all about. And I guess that's kind of more just where I'm at. I'm like honestly in this really weird in between space again of what's my good solid next step. And I think that's another issue I need to work on is
Mhm.
there doesn't always need to be a solid next step. It is your turn. And I mean, my last message is if you are feeling like you are thinking through a lot of things and needing to readjust in life, you are not alone. I'm right there with
Yeah.
you.
Let's move on to my turn.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of things happened this past couple weeks. A lot having to do with work, and I can sit here and talk about those. But honestly, on to be on the safe side, I'm not going to. But what I am kind of like a little bit of a limbo about. So I went out last night, and it was like my first time going out with actually like multiple friends.
Oh,
No, like well, since high school. And then my best friend and I, we were out, and it was a good time. I will say there was this bar in Greeley. It's actually like a good vibe. They're playing good music. Like I'm talking early 2000s club
oh, hell yeah.
music. I'm talking like Timbaland, Give It to Me was playing.
Hell.
Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake was playing. Oh my goodness, Marcus. I was like, where am I? Did I just transport to a different timeline? Like I literally was so like in my element. I was like, yeah, like as soon as I heard that, like take it to the chorus or take it to the bridge, it was like Dirty Bay. I was like, oh you had to move out of my way. I did not know how to. It was so. I was like in my on the like the bar stool because we were at the bar.
Right.
We weren't really like standing or anything, but we were at the bar and we were just dancing in our chairs. It was so much fun. Like it really was like this is girlhood. And the thing is that I felt comfortable with my friends to do that, because normally in past times when I'm out with another group of friends or certain people, it's hard for me to get out of my shell like that because I don't want to seem embarrassing. I don't want to seem cringy. I don't want to seem,
Right.
I don't want to make them feel a certain type of way. Does that make sense?
Right.
And I'm sacrificing my being for that versus now I last night I just when you have people that match your energy and are dancing and singing with you too, like we were singing to each other to the songs, like Beauty and the Beat by Justin Bieber came on and we like lost our minds. My friends too, when they're like, oh, like, where's your man? Like, like, is your man gonna come like join
Hmm.
us? And I'm like, no, he's staying home. He's gonna come pick me up, like
Right.
it's okay. And they were like, because they were, I think in their mode when a lot of men are who aren't secured give them a hard time, like, oh, you're out, you have to be here by this time, or you're out
Yeah,
like
which is like nuts.
so in
Like,
like that is so like you're an insecure dude. Like you're like get off your freaking high horse.
which it's funny because I'll see like these alpha male like Chad bullshit of
Chad
like
Bonnet.
whatever of just like oh you need to like lay down like the rules or like you need to like I can't yeah it's not a high value woman, a woman that's like going out every night. I'm like whenever people are like oh like, yeah like you like I don't like my woman going out or like whatever. I'm like then don't be with a woman who goes out
And there is that
like
saying where it's like you can't what is it? It's that saying where it's like you can't handle a baddie, then don't date one.
right or
And
like
it's very much like it is this alpha male mentality of like wanting to control. It's literally just you wanting to control women,
no,
dude.
literally, no,
Like,
literally, because I'm like, bro, like, I'm like, I have a mother. Like, she went
yeah.
out when I was a kid. And
I was gonna say, like, and there's
she's
this
a
like
perfect example of she knows how to take care of her
exactly,
children and be home and also go have
exactly,
fun
because
with her
a
friends.
couple
Like,
of my friends, like my best friend, for example, she's a mom. You're not gonna be out till like 3 in the morning. You
right.
know what I mean?
I
Like,
even want to tell people, I'm like, as a child who had experienced that myself, trust me, they want you to go
and
out.
that's
Like,
what I told her too. I'm like, I never shamed my mom for going out ever. I never was like that child that like wagged my finger at my mom or talked shit about my mom going out. If anything, like also too a lot of the times our mom, if she was able, she would take us to like
right,
little like house parties that her cousins would throw. And we were in obviously very safe and good hands because we had everybody sometimes like watching us. And also we were well behaved children.
right,
We sat
exactly,
on the couch, watched the TV and like
exactly, or played outside.
or played
Like,
outside. Exactly. Like it was a time. It was I never ever 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 judged my mom for going out. You know
right.
who I do judge though? You know who I do judge? The baby daddies.
oh
I do judge the baby daddies and I don't give up. I judge the baby daddies that do go out because they're the ones that are hardly ever seeing their kid.
I guess yeah. If you're
And then
specifying it like that,
and
yeah, sure.
are judging other moms or judging their baby mama or their what like for going
Oh
out.
yeah, if it comes to that, then
No,
yeah,
it's
sure.
a majority. I'm generalizing, yes, because it takes a very special man to, how do I say, like, accept, like, oh, yeah, like, my wife can go out. I can go out. It's like an equal thing. And, but also, like, let's say you're separated, right? And then there's these like demographic of baby daddies. And yes, baby daddies, not husbands. No, baby daddies who are out and about, not giving up about where their kid is,
Right,
not caring and not going home to their kid, not none of that shit.
right,
And mind you, only see their kid like every other weekend.
right. Like our dad.
Like our dad. No, for sure. Like our dad. And our dad went out.
Yeah.
And I did judge my dad sometimes for going out
Oh
because I'm
yeah.
like, dude, you never see us.
I'm like,
You never see us and you're out? What is your problem? Out of all the weekends you have free, you chose this weekend that you have us to go out.
right.
Does that make sense? Yes, I do judge the baby daddies. I absolutely do. Because it's like where you're pointing a finger of like, oh, where's your kid? Where the hell is yours? Do you even know yours is middle name?
right.
Does your child even have your last name? Like and that is my rant. That is my rant. No, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of
right.
this demographic of men that literally want to control women. And when they don't, they throw this hissy fit, this tantrum, this like, and I was hearing it a lot. And everybody has their relationship problems for sure. But I feel bad because I hate being that friend. Was like, my man doesn't do that. Like, your man does that, mine
You're
doesn't.
okay, and you know what's funny? Because on the opposite end of that, I'm a dude who has a lot of or who has had a lot of female friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're like complaining to me about shit like that, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because I don't want to be the guy that's sitting there like I'm not trying to sit here and say like, "Oh, I'll treat you better," whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
what I am saying is I don't do that. Normal dudes don't do that. Like, you know what
That's
I
what
mean?
I'm
Like
saying,
a
and
normal person shouldn't do that. Like
I am stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I do talk to my best friend about it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to like make you feel bad or anything. She goes, no, like she really like opened up my eyes and gave me a new perspective on it. She goes, no, it is helpful that you're saying that your man doesn't talk to you that way, that your man does X, Y, and Z to keep you happy, or does
because
things
people need
because
to
he
know this.
wants
Yeah, because
to.
people need to know this shit isn't
That's
normal. Like
exactly what she said. She's like, because it is giving all of us an example of, yeah, there are good men out there that don't treat us like this. And I'm I guess this is where I talk about it. I also don't like this thing where just because I'm in an unhealthy relationship with my man, that I don't know what it's like to be in a toxic one.
oh yeah, like when people are like,
You don't get it.
you
You don't
don't get
know.
it, or like
No, I do
whatever.
know.
I'm like,
I do
yeah,
know. I do
no,
get it
like,
because, and I'm going to be vulnerable. During COVID, I was in a very, very psychologically, emotionally, verbal abusive relationship. And I 100% think that if I saw this person in person all the time, it would have turned physical. And I wasn't in it for long, but I did take him back for a lot of dumb things. Like, or not dumb things, but I took him back for things that I should have been like, no, like this is not how I should be treated. I remember what got me out of this relationship was I was on the phone and I was crying, begging, why are you treating me this way? I don't deserve to be treated this way. I'm saying these things out loud. I don't deserve to be treated this way at all. I deserve better, but I'm begging the person that is treating me that way to do that. And he's on the phone laughing at me, crying, laughing at what I'm saying, laughing at my vulnerability, and just, I'm telling you, cackling, telling me how stupid I look, how stupid I sound, how dumb I am for even taking me back. I What really woke me up was I had no idea mom was home when I was having that conversation because I had him on speaker. No idea. And I remember I hung up. Mom made dinner that night. And all mom had to do was look at me and say, I heard that entire conversation. Just so you know, I heard everything. The level of shame, the level of embarrassment that I felt, because even when I think about it now, I still feel ashamed and very embarrassed that my own mother had to hear me get treated that way and hear me beg for someone to love me. And I, I I always vouch to myself, I'm never going to let someone do that to me again, ever. So I don't tolerate disrespect from men ever. I don't care who you are. I don't tolerate seeing it either. And that's where my rant also too ties in with my friends, is like, I'm over here being that friend that's like, don't put up with that. There's so many men that are better for you, I promise, but they're stuck thinking that this is what they deserve. And it's sometimes a little exhausting being that friend of like, you don't deserve this, stop taking him back for X, Y, and Z, stop, he's not going to change. I know grown ass men, grown ass 40-year-old men who still act this way. They do not change.
this is true.
They don't. I'm not saying they can't, but those temptations will always be there.
And we've talked about this kind of thing before of like because like within my past relationship or like whatever, I found that we didn't fit for each other, you
Right.
know? And like so if you're with someone and you are thinking like, "Oh, they'll change like whatever," and like and blah blah blah. You can like them, you know, whatever. You
Mhm.
can have some sort of like, oh, you know, like affection for them or like whatever, but the love that you want is you're not going to get it from
Right.
them. I'm sorry
Right.
because
Right.
guess what? Y'all not on the same page.
Yeah.
Not on the same page. See the thing. You can be sometimes you can be on the same page as someone, but you guys are on different lines.
Mhm.
Someone's reading faster than the other, you know?
Uh-huh.
But if you are not even close to the same page with someone, why are you wasting your time?
Right.
I've had to learn this lesson myself, and since then I have been nothing but very vocal to everyone else about it. Do not waste your time with anyone who you think don't waste anyone else's time
Mhm.
with anyone that you think you're not fitting with. Don't be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I if I can adjust this, then maybe it'll work." Or,
Mhm.
"Oh, if or, like you know, you notice something, you're like, oh, that'll probably go away in time." No, no, it's
Mhm.
stupid. No, it's there. Recognize it. It's gonna be there. Like
Mhm.
either deal with it or don't.
Yeah.
That simple.
Mhm.
And if you are choosing to deal with it, don't come crying to other people about you dealing with it. Like I
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Uh, and here's I used to really like I run a strict program with my friendships. I do. I'm not, but it's hard because I want them to be able to come to me about their problems and I want to be that shoulder for them to lean on. But I always tell them, I am going to always advocate for you to leave. Always.
I just tell people I like before I say anything because I don't lie in general.
Mhm.
So especially before I give advice. I literally ask them, like, "Do you want my honest opinion right now?"
Mhm.
And they go like, "Yeah," or like whatever. I'm like, "You sure?" Because you're probably not gonna like it.
Yeah.
And if they still say yes, then I'll tell them. And if they say no, then I'm like, "All right, well then I will sit here and you can keep talking
Yeah.
because you know I'll listen to you. But if you want my opinion right now, I'm
Mhm.
gonna give it to you, and it's gonna be an honest one."
Sometimes you just really have to let them learn. And
Right.
it's going to be hard being the friend that watches from the sidelines and watching them do it. It is going to be so hard. But what you can do, and it's like you just said, you can let them know that you're always going to be there for them,
Exactly.
but also set boundaries.
Yeah.
No, it's very important to set boundaries. I have told friends before, if you let this happen again, I cannot be your friend anymore. I have told them that because it does get to a point where it's like I'm gonna not talk to you anymore because now you're draining my energy
Right.
because you're complaining about X, Y, and Z, but what are you doing
Right.
about it? Nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm the bad guy because I'm giving you advice on what to do and you're not taking it. And I'm the bad guy because I don't no longer want to be your friend anymore
Right.
or no longer want to speak to you or talk to you because, again, this is your problem to fix. This is your situation you got to figure out. I've done everything I could to help you,
No, yeah.
but I've reached the ceiling sometimes.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have to set boundaries if that's what someone needs,
Yeah.
you know.
So,
But, you know,
yeah, on that note, let's move on. This has been relate to this rant.
right.
Let's move on to for cinema.
Right.
Moving on to a more lighter note, our next segment is for cinema.
right.
For cinema is the segment where basically, I assign Marcus a movie, he assigns me a movie. The movie that I assign him is usually a chick flick, and I mean a
Movie.
silly chick flick, like very silly chick flick, and nothing compared to like the actual beautiful cinematic women centered movies. Like for example, I am this week I assigned him Bring It On.
Right.
For these type of segments I would not assign him like movies like Girl Interrupted or Lady Bird because again those are very beautiful cinematic powerful women centered movies.
right.
But that's the bit. He assigns me these super deep male-centered movies, while
Right.
I assigned him a silly girl chick flick.
And
Saving the world from a toxic masculinity, one chick flick at a time.
right.
And we just give our opinions about it. So, Marcus, go ahead.
Yeah, this week's movie, as Ariana said, was Bring It On, and the synopsis.
Yeah, so Bring It On basically is essentially about a cheer team. Of course, the stars of this movie are Kristen Dunst and Gabrielle. Kirsten. I'm
Kirsten.
so sorry. Kirsten Dunst and Gabrielle Union. So Kirsten Dunst on one end of the school, she is the new cheer captain. It's her senior year, I believe, and
Right.
she is basically leading her cheer team. Why
Right.
can't I speak? She's leading her cheer team to win essentially the cheer competition
Right, the
that their school
nationals.
competes in. Yes, the nationals. That of course the schools compete in with of course other schools, and on the other school is Gabrielle Union's character. She's also the cheer captain at her school.
Right.
And
East Compton.
yes, it's yeah. And the thing is, and there is a very underlying theme of, I guess, the social hierarchy. Of course, Gabrielle Union attends a school where it's a little underfunded, especially for their cheer team. So they have to work extra hard to earn their place in this cheer competition. And versus Kirsten Dunst's high school that she's a cheer captain to is a well-funded school, and they don't really have to try as hard. However, the plot is that a newer girl comes into this cheer team, and when they are teaching her all the cheers, she gets upset because she calls them out for copying Gabrielle Union's cheer team, her school's, their routines.
Right.
So they have to reroute, I guess, their entire routines and their entire whole thing, right? Their choreography and all the trials and tribulations of that happen leading up to the cheer competition, and where we find out who wins and who doesn't. If you have not watched Bring It On and you have been living under a rock, Bring It On is actually the first movie of its franchise. I do like some of them. This one is just my favorite.
Right.
I was this close to making Marcus watch at least my favorite ones, which, I mean, if anyone who cares, Bring It On is obviously my favorite. And then you have Bring It On All or Nothing. You have Bring It On Fight to the Finish. And then you have Bring It On In It to Win It. Like,
This is so stupid. It's like its own subcategory of movies.
But it is great though. Like, these movies sometimes are really amazing, and they are contributing a lot to pop culture. But the first one is genuinely one of its kind. I do love the first one more than all of them. So, and that's not like a hot take, but it is mine. So
Right. And with that, I will say this movie catches me at kind of like an on the fence point, to be honest.
uh-huh.
And I say that because it's a damn cheer movie.
Right. Right.
I'm a straight man
Yes.
who the only experience with cheerleading is during a powder puff game where they did in fact make me wear a pencil skirt, or a mini skirt, whatever the hell it was. And it was not flattering. I have no ass.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. But like, hold on, to that point, this is how you know Marcus is very secure in his masculinity.
Oh yeah, I put on the skirt. But
like Marcus put on the skirt, wore the pom poms, did the thing.
They put me in the air.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, like,
they're like, he's the lightest one, put him in there. Like, really?
And that's amazing to me. That's really admirable. I feel like it's what our little brother would call cringe and embarrassing, but I do think that is very telling to your masculinity and your secureness in that as well. And because again, like, your average man would not do that.
Oh yeah,
but Marcus definitely.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Oh, I'm in it to win it, but and no pun intended. But in any case, but yeah, so it was a cheerleading movie, but I did find a lot of points really funny.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it was a movie with just a bunch of cheerleaders, so it was also kind of enjoyable.
Yes.
And obviously Kirsten Dunst is very beautiful. I watched Spider-Man when I was a kid, so
I was gonna say, is it really interesting and different?
A little bit, yeah. Which I forget she's a natural blonde.
She is a natural blonde.
Yeah, she's a natural
blonde. Because in
the
Spider-Man movies, for those who don't know, the one with Tobey Maguire,
right? They dyed her hair.
Yeah, she was a redhead.
Right.
And Bring It On, she's a complete blonde
Right,
for sure.
exactly. And she is a natural blonde.
Her role in this movie is very important too because it's also she's recognizing we are stealing from people that
I was
are
gonna say,
underfunded, and that's not
right,
okay.
I was gonna say because as I found throughout watching this movie, obviously, it does become a lot about the competition and like her whole like the pressure she's feeling as you know to getting the team to win
Mhm.
or to even make the team successful after
Mhm.
you know the previous captain, obviously. And it's funny because we do see a lot of like how female relationships also work within this movie of
Right.
like so I did find that to be very realistic within the movie, of course. um and just I did find a lot of comedic points within the movie. I did enjoy it. I want to say I did enjoy watching the movie a bit. The brother was probably my favorite part in the whole freaking movie because he was
Right.
probably the most relatable. Loved him during that the whole thing. Plus, he ended up with Kirsten Dunst, so
Right.
he's the goat.
Mindy's brother, not Kirsten Dunst's
Right,
brother.
not Kirsten Dunst's little brother, Mindy's brother. There's a lot in this movie that is to be enjoyed, though. A lot of it is really funny. I do get why you like it.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say it cracks because we're at 12 movies now. Or
Well, now
13. Yeah,
13,
we're at
yeah.
13 movies now, and I wouldn't say it cracks the top five, but I would say it probably makes a place for maybe number 8 or 7.
Well, let's find out because you
Oh yeah,
do
I do have. If
have
you
your
mind pulling
list.
that up for
Yes.
me.
You have your list, like how I have
Jamie,
mine.
we can get that on the screen.
Right.
Starting from top to bottom, obviously. A Lot Like Love, 10 Things I Hate About You, Bridesmaids, America's Sweethearts, 500 Days of Summer, Beauty Shop, Bride Wars, Because I Said So, Anyone But You, and Baby Mamas, Another Cinderella Story, and bottom of the list, 27 Dresses. Worst title drop. Oh, they did a title drop in this movie too, and it wasn't again as campy as 27 Dresses. It was while they were lined up on the field, and he told the football player to bring it on,
Mhm.
and that was it. That was the whole
And
title
isn't that
drop.
kind of cool? Like the cheerleaders themselves didn't say bring it on.
Right,
The football players said it,
right.
and that's how the title was
Which
dropped.
is funny because you do hear the cheerleaders say "bring it"
Yeah.
a couple times. They
Mhm.
never say "bring it on," which I think is
Mhm.
kind of funny. But so far, that is my ranking. And as far as where "bring it on" would be placed within this, I yeah, no, I could honestly say that actually, yeah, no, I think Bring It On probably moves into Anyone But You's place at number 9.
That's great.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Anyone But You is an enjoyable movie. It's just very mediocre in my opinion, to be
Mhm.
honest with you,
I was gonna
compared to
say
all
like,
these other movies.
I was gonna say it's slowly moving down,
It
which
is
is
slowly
crazy.
moving down, but it is a very mediocre movie. The more that
Yes.
we're getting into this list.
And what did you rate it out of 5
Oh,
stars?
right. Out of 5 stars, I think I'd rate Bring It On probably a solid 3.5.
Hmm.
And my reason for that is it just didn't have enough in the movie for me to be like super invested, I guess, in
Right.
like the stakes. It was a cheer competition. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe if like someone's life was on the line. I don't know. Like, you know,
No,
or
I
like
do get
someone was moving. I don't know. Something there could have been more stakes
I
there.
get what you mean. But
Um
spoilers ahead, I do like the fact that
They didn't win,
they
and
didn't
I
win.
do
Mhm.
like that as well. I will say that they got second place was very. It was kind of surprising, but it was a fitting ending to me
Right.
because it wasn't when I as soon as I seen that I realized I'm like yeah no because it wasn't about for them it really wasn't about winning. It was about getting their team to be as good as they said they were,
Right.
right? And doing that honestly, coming
Exactly.
by that honestly under
Mhm.
this new leadership and
Mhm.
with a new girl and whatnot.
Exactly.
Um, and of course, it was about the other team's triumph over that team
Mhm.
because of their lack thereof of like funding or
Resources and
representation. I guess yeah,
representation, yeah.
resources, representation, all that stuff, and proving that they were the best. And it's like that underlying message of like people who are doing like how the previous year captain was doing, like you know, stealing whatever. They won't. It's not an honest win.
Mhm.
You should be winning honestly. You should be doing things like this
And
honestly,
honorably, whether
and
you
right
win or not.
and honorably because even at the end they still have that moment of like, hey, you guys were pretty good out there. Yeah, but you were better. Yeah, we kind of were. Like you
Yeah,
know,
you
like
know, like it,
and they
it's
still both
great.
smile, and it's like a
Yes.
funny thing because yeah, it's the spirit of competition. Like
Mhm.
and that's really what most movie was about, and I thought it was a great movie for that. And again, what a win for the brother.
Right? No,
But
it's a great movie, and like I said, it is my favorite out of all the franchise. It used to be Fight to the Finish. That one's with like Christina Milian,
right.
and rewatched it recently, like as of 3 months ago, and I was like, why did I think this was the best one? And I think it's because it's campy in a little bit in a bad
Is it the one
way.
that's like more 2000s and it's the blonde girl that's the new one, or?
Yeah, it's I guess they call it the Mexican one.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's that one. And you would think like it would be, more likable for me because I am a Latina, and but I don't know. There's something about it that I'm just like, I feel like we're being mocked here. You get what I mean? I don't know.
Right,
It
yeah,
was so
no.
weird. But as far as rankings go, of course, my favorite chick flicks of all time list, Bring It On ranks 21 out of 55.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Little towards halfway there, but yeah, I can see that.
yeah. It's definitely almost in the 20s, but
It's in the top percentile,
for
though.
for sure. And again, because I do genuinely love this movie, and when I watch movies like this that are like set in California, it makes me like, I wish I went to high school in California.
Right? Tell
Like
me about it.
truly went to high school in California because
Right.
I did at one point, but I wish I had that experience
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
tell me about it.
But anyways, let's move on to my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie you assigned me this week was
Donnie
Donnie Darko.
Darko,
Yep.
yeah, which this is Donnie Darko is one of my favorites to kinda just, like, watch on, like, a whim, to be honest. It's not one of my favorite movies, it's just but, like, it's definitely one of my favorites kinda to just watch here and there, you know?
Yeah. It's
But
it's definitely very interesting. It's a very mind bending movie.
Donnie Darko follows Jake Gyllenhaal, who's this teenager living in this small town, and I don't freaking know where. He has a sleepwalking disorder, and and because of that, we are watching this movie throughout his lens entirely, and it's because of that sleepwalking disorder that we do get a bit confused throughout the movie of what is
Mhm.
happening between reality and what's going on in his mind, from like whether that be sleep deprivation or hallucinating. And with that, we see a lot of his kind of identity crisis in the movie of like what he is supposed to do because he finds himself in this weird liminal kind of space, I guess, in his
Mhm.
mind. And because that goes out seeking a bunch of answers, kind of gets even more confused, has even a love interest throughout this movie that is sort of there, we think.
Right.
Movie's a little hard to explain, but essentially that is what happens, and we just kind of follow Donnie's experience within his mind,
Mhm.
essentially, and how it's affecting him and the people around him a little bit.
Yes. And Donnie Darko is one of those movies that you have to watch like multiple times to
Oh yeah.
fully grasp and fully understand. Because even when I rewatched this, I was like, I'm still so confused.
Oh yeah.
Because I have seen this before. It's one of my favorite movies to watch like during Halloween time 'cause it's a little creepy.
Right.
I'm a, for those who don't know, I am not a horror girl. I am not like, I don't like spooky, scary stuff. Okay. Like, I
Right.
really don't like none of that. I don't like, I have lines, right?
Right.
I draw the line at paranormal. I draw the line when it comes down to like religious aspects. Like, you
Right.
won't catch me watching The Exorcism. You won't catch me
Right.
watching anything of that nature at all, period.
Right.
I will not watch anything
I've
that's
never even
based.
seen a Conjuring movie.
No, I will not ever watch anything of that nature, period.
Right.
I genuinely won't. I think the line, or not even the line, the barrier between us and that is very thin and it's scary. So that's why I don't like to feed into that at all. However, I do love a good psychological horror.
Right.
I love the horror movies that make you think. I do love a good slasher movie too. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Scream franchise. Technically for me it ends at Scream 5. But I personally like a slasher movie. I don't mind gore. I don't mind none of that, but psychological movies, psychological thrillers and horrors is what really like gets me going and mentally
Right.
stimulates me for sure. That's how I get my little itch of the horror of it all. Um, Donnie Darko is a very mind bending, very psychological, like, thriller horror type of film, and it
Definitely
I
thriller.
was gonna say, a lot of people like to categorize it as a horror movie just because of, like, the guy Frank, who's, like, in this bunny suit,
Right.
is a little scary.
Which spoilers ahead, obviously.
Yeah, obviously spoilers ahead, but I feel like you kinda have to explain to somebody what Donnie Darko is and the plot of it all before they go into watching it, because otherwise they're not gonna like the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It
There's
is
like
one of those things where, like, you get frustrated because 'cause you're like, this is why I don't like this movie because I have no idea what's going on." So, what I did discover, and I did a lot of deep diving because I really wanted to understand this movie, because it's like, I watched it, I was like, "I still don't understand what just happened."
right,
So, from when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, he has schizophrenia."
right,
He has schizophrenia, and he, like, predicted the future or something like that, right? So, what I discovered is he is, I guess, like, this entity of, I wanna say, like, between 2 universes. So, in the beginning of the movie, when he's, like, waking up at a golf course and is looking at the sky and, like, something weird, remember when, like, so the plane engine, right? They're all, when he comes home, they're all freaking out. They're like, "Oh my god, where were you? Because the plane engine fell through your room." And all these things, right? The time is warped at this point because
right.
no one can figure out where this plane engine came from. But that's because it came from a different universe. It came from a different time warp. And the bunny, Frank, that's who is coming to, that's like a real person. Like, only obviously he sees him, but that is a real entity that's coming to him and saying, this is what you have to do in order to align the time, and so that you're not harming everybody else.
Right, in
Because
order to fix the timeline, because the
exactly.
divergence was when he wasn't there to be crushed by the
Yes, exactly. That's what it was. And because at the end of the movie, I'm like, what just happened? I'm so confused
right,
because no one like the girlfriend, the love interest that he has, the other people around him too, like, have this, like, weird, like, they never met him, or they barely know him or know who he was, like the impact he had, like, of course, with the teacher, where it's like, "I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion." One of, like, my favorite moments in the movie.
that line floors me.
Like,
Like
I think it's so funny because, like, girl, is it really that serious? And, like, and honestly, the actress that plays that woman, I don't know her name, but she is always a menace,
no,
like, in
yeah, always.
everything she's
She's
in.
always like the mean old lady
Yeah,
or
no,
something.
seriously, and oh my
The mean
gosh.
teacher, the mean like principal,
E
school
e
attendant, something. Yeah,
exactly. So, this movie is very interesting, and what I do love, it is one of Jake Gyllenhaal's earlier roles. I think this is one of his first
which he
ones.
actually did with his sister.
Yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal. I I did find this movie really interesting. I think it does open a lot about the mind of, like, young men too,
Right,
and
because the reason I did assign this is kind of for that reason of like the underlying tone of he has this responsibility or this urge to do something, to correct something.
mhm,
And he's not knowing what to do with himself during
right.
all of this. He feels like he's going crazy. He begins
Yeah,
to question the reality around him.
exactly.
And that's kind of how like a man feels within just growing up.
Right.
Like you start to feel like there's all these things you have to do, or like there's these certain right things that you have to do, but you just begin questioning yourself because everything
Mm,
around you is telling you different types of things, and even the things you're experiencing are different
mhm,
from what people are telling you.
mhm.
And so you're just sitting there like, am I real? Like,
Yeah,
does my experience matter? And
yeah,
is what I'm doing matters? And I
yeah,
think that's the underlying tone with Donnie Darko, at least for me personally, is it's about this kid who is seeing these weird things happen around him, and he's finding this sense of influence within himself.
right, and he has to choose between going on about his free will and completely ignoring his importance to this, or abiding what essentially the universe wants him to do
Right,
and needs him to do in order to save other people.
right.
And that's what he did. Um, with that being said,
Yeah.
thank you for assigning me Donnie Darko. I think my overall ranking of it would be, I want to say 3 stars, only because it is so damn confusing. And also a little random at times because
Yeah.
and I remember there's something that our acting coach always taught us when especially when we went to auditions is there's always a reason. There's a purpose. Like, for example, like your character does go to the bathroom, but we don't see them going to the bathroom, unless we do, that is for a reason, right? It sets a character up for the next scene or for their
Right. There's
plot,
a moment there.
their story.
There's something.
Exactly. There is a reason for things. So that's why it's like I don't really like to say like things are so random in this movie because there is a purpose for them. I just didn't understand them.
Right.
And that's okay because not everybody's gonna understand the art that you put out,
Right.
and that's totally fine. But yeah, 3 stars to be honest. But
Gotcha.
that's okay
Yeah.
because it is a great movie. Doesn't mean it's a bad one. It's one that you have to watch a few times to
Yeah.
fully grasp, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and with that, that is the fourth cinema segment of this podcast, and we'll move on to our last one, which is just weekly hyperfixation.
Yes, let's move on.
Yeah.
So diving into our next segment and our last one for this episode, weekly hyperfixation, which is the segment where we just talk about
Stuff that
movies and
movies,
music.
music, stuff that we've just enjoyed over the past couple of weeks, stuff that we've discovered, things like that. So
Yes, starting off with you, of course.
right. For me, Invincible did finish this week, which for those of you that do follow the show, and for those of you that don't, spoilers ahead, but crazy ending. I
Mhm.
mean, a slightly underwhelming ending actually, but for what it's setting up, pretty crazy. And a lot of us fans, I myself haven't read a lot of the comics, mostly just because I don't want to spoil much of the show for myself.
Yeah.
But for I have read a bit of the comics and I know a bit of the comics, and there is a specific scene in the comics that a lot of fans are very questioning as to how they're going to do it, or even if they're going to do it at all,
Mhm.
because it's such a vulgar scene.
Mm.
Because it's with one of the main characters being assaulted. It's kind of a dark scene
For
in
sure.
of itself, obviously, but it's very detrimental to the story.
Mhm. And there is ways though that you can do that without
Which
it being so
Right,
vulgar.
and I think which even in the comics, it's not even that all too bad, but it is like the dialogue that happens within it
Mm.
is pretty strong and whatnot. But in any case, and the act itself is still what it is.
Of
So
course, yeah.
but in of itself, it is like I said, it's very important to the story because of what that scene causes.
Correct, yeah.
Um, and so us fans are just very much questioning as to how it's going to happen and whatnot. So a lot of us are just a little bit with that. But as far as the show is going so far, it's doing great. We're actually currently halfway through the storyline because this is based off of a comic series that is fully finished. It is
Right.
done. Like it's not like Batman where like there's more stories that keep on coming
Mm.
out. It's completely done comic story. So we're about halfway through it right now. We're at four
Mhm.
seasons. We're about halfway through it. The creator said he was aiming for about 7 to 9 seasons.
Mm.
Looks like we're probably going to be getting about 8 or 9, is my guess.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, and which I'm very excited for this story. I love the show Invincible. It's a great show. For those of you that are watching it, also know that is a great show. And because of that, kind of going into my next fixation is the music I've been listening to this week is one of the songs from that show that had kind of come up. It's called "Alive" by Bakar. That's one of the songs. Another song that I've been listening to is called "All My Friends." I can't remember exactly who it's by because the name is a little bit odd to me, but it's featuring Chance the Rapper.
Mm.
If that helps anybody,
Right.
"All My Friends" featuring Chance the Rapper.
Uh,
I highly doubt there's another song, but
right.
which it's a great. I'm ready for summer. I'm ready to be by my pool with my friends, having some drinks, blasting music, playing like dumb like pool football or like
Yeah.
whatever, like or just dumb pool games. Like we're full grown adults and we still play pool games because
Mm.
it's fun.
It
Like
is. It
like
is fun.
Lithonia by Childish Gambino. It's actually from one of his newer album that had come out, which not a lot of people liked, which I don't really understand.
Mhm.
I might understand listening to this song of like because I haven't listened to the whole album.
Mhm.
But if most of the album is like this song, I can see why people didn't like it because it's not Childish Gambino's like usual
sound,
shtick, his usual sound. To me, this is more. It is more of like it is more of that indie kind of almost feel to it. Maybe even like alternative indie.
Mhm.
Like this, like you could almost tell me this song might have been like produced by Arctic Monkeys, and I'd kind of believe you. Like,
Right.
the final song that I've been listening to, which I highly recommend, is well, any because I barely became familiar with Young the Giant.
I'm not.
It's a band,
Uh-huh.
another kind of indie rockish band. 'Cause they had that song. They had a song that was featured in Outer Banks.
Uh-huh.
It's called My Body.
Mhm.
Which very good song, very upbeat, whatever. I hadn't listened to a lot of their music, and because I was just listening on my playlist, I didn't have the replay on.
Yeah.
It went to my recommended tracks,
Mhm.
which I love sometimes that when it gives me good shit. And it cued this Young the Giant song called some I'm forgetting this one's name.
Uh-huh.
But the other song that I cued was called Silver Tongue, and it's on the same album. Um but it's got just I just love this like indie rock. I love indie rock so much because it
Mhm.
encapsulates that joyous feeling of like almost like revelry. That pure feeling of like joyous revelry
Mhm.
of like the world is the world, but I'm moving about the world in my way, and this is how I'm doing it. Like, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of what indie music feels to me, is like this like statement of
Mhm.
this is who I am. Like whether it be happy, sad, or whimsical, whatever, this is how I am, and this is how I'm moving about the world. So really, my recommendation is mostly Young the Giant. But specifically, it would be that song Silver Tongue and uh, I'm forgetting the name. It starts with the word something, but
Yeah.
in any case, that album, definitely go listen to it if you can. I mean, that's just my fixations for the week.
Yes. All right. My turn.
Right.
I'm irritated. I'm irritated because I talked for the past 20 minutes about my hyperfixations just for it not to be filmed and on camera. So,
You're talking about the pit and everything.
and no, I'm actually irritated because now I have to like act excited and passionate about it again. And now you're constantly checking to make sure it's recording because
We're good. We're good. Anyway.
the pit. It's a great show. The Pit is an amazing show. Go watch it.
What Arianna was saying was, I mean, because I hadn't known, and I guess, well, you suggested that I watch it, but that every season is just one day in the
Yes,
ER.
every season, and so far it's only been two, but it is one day in the ER. Each episode is broken up by an hour in the ER. And I have heard that it is the most accurate depiction of what being in the hospital
And
is
something like
and working
this
in the
hasn't been
hospital.
like done right like that
No, it
before. I
hasn't
feel like.
been done. And I think it's very interesting because I have watched a plethora of medical shows like Grey's Anatomy, Nurse Jackie, which is also an amazing medical show. And I've watched The Good Doctor, bits and pieces of Chicago Med. And
Right.
I say this one is actually my favorite. Well, Nurse Jackie, I want to say is a little bit of my favorite. But I genuinely do love The Pit. It's great. It's on HBO Max. Please go watch it. I'm like scared now. Next show that I've been watching is Big Mistakes. It's on
Right.
Netflix. It's a comedy show. It is only 10 episodes. It's a brand new show that came out this month. And it's basically about two siblings that get caught up in this like Russian mob, I believe. I think it's a Russian mob.
Right.
And it's very interesting and very funny. And it's on each episode's like 30 minutes long, so you can definitely get through it. And like I said, it's only 10 episodes, so it's a very fun watch. Again, it's on Netflix. Euphoria.
Oh yeah, Euphoria is currently still coming out.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I have. I'm kept up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Euphoria.
Which I just mean like
Marcus is constantly
no, yeah,
checking
I'm
to make
checking the
sure.
camera. Which I just mean Euphoria. Great. I mean, I'll defend this. I don't care. Like I think it's a beautiful show. I think the way it's
Mm-hmm.
shot is amazing, and this new season has obviously taken a bit of a tonality shift,
Yeah, for
which we
sure.
can see that straight away within the cinematography of it all. The
Yeah.
color grading is entirely different now on the show.
Yes. Mhm.
Which I found this out, it might be because of some copyright issues actually and
Yeah.
creative issues
Yes.
because of what the I don't know if it was the director or the creative director that stole kind of the artistic vision, but
Sam Levinson.
you're right. So
Yeah.
in any case, but good, I suppose, for readjustment, and that I
Yes.
will say.
That's it for me.
Yeah.
I would love to keep talking about my hyperfixations, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna get cut off. I've been silenced.
Well, that has been our episode of episode 13 of Rated R for Relatives, and we will hopefully see you in the next one. And of course, thank you for watching and tuning in on this one.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.